Hi, so today I'm going to be reviewing my top 3 most expensive baby gadgets. Now, I will tell you right off the bat, it's like flying economy versus business. Business is really nice and you'll love the experience, but do you really need it? The answer is no. None of these 3 things that I'm going to talk about are things that you need, but what I know will be useful is I can share the parts that were truly convenient and life-changing that will help you decide what to prioritize when you're shopping. Okay, let's get into it. At $1,849, we have the Cradlewise. It is an AI crib that transforms from bassinet to toddler bed, and it has a built-in sound machine and camera. It also has sensors that will tell you when your baby is starting to wake even before they cry, and that's actually the best part. The crib will rock and soothe your baby before they start crying to keep them asleep the entire night. Okay, now here's some information. The AAP recommends room sharing, essentially baby sleeping in the same room, for the first 6 months because it reduces the risk of SIDS. So let's say you're one of God's favorites and your baby can sleep anywhere and loves the Cradlewise. You probably won't get extra sleep because you will still wake up hearing the baby grunt, moving around, or sometimes you can hear the Cradlewise bounce because it's in your room. And this is what it sounds like. Now, if you're like most people, like us, your baby will prefer contact naps. So basically sleeping while feeding, touching a human, they will basically hate the Cradlewise. We didn't get any use from our Cradlewise other than as an expensive playpen for the first 7 months. And this was still really useful because anytime we needed to be hands-free, we could just put them down somewhere safe and still be able to monitor without moving a camera. But here is the turning point, the secret sauce, if you will. At 7 months, we moved the crib into the nursery and we basically committed to getting him sleeping independently. And for us, it took 2 weeks to sleep train and get him used to the crib. Now, this only works if you are okay with listening to your baby cry for any amount of time. This is our routine now. He falls asleep without crying and stays asleep. If we went to sleep earlier, we could get like 8 hours of perfect sleep every night. This is life-changing. For us, it makes it worth every penny. So yeah, to make it easier to think about, if any 2 of these things are true for you, it's probably not worth it. Okay, so the first one is, are you going to keep the crib inside the room? Are you going to breastfeed throughout the night? And the last one is, are you against sleep training, otherwise known as cry it out or Ferber? Essentially, the whole point of the Cradlewise is to get you more sleep. If you're breastfeeding throughout the night, you're going to be waking up every 2 to 3 hours. And if the baby's sleeping in your room, you're probably going to get woken up anyway. And if you don't sleep train, you're going to end up picking your baby up every time they cry. So you're going to get less sleep then too. For me personally, it was life-changing. I went from maybe 3 hours of sleep a night to basically 7 to 8 almost every day. Okay, on to the glider. At $1,099, we got the Nurture and Glider Plus. It swivels, it rocks, it's wide, and it has lumbar support. I didn't think this would matter, but I've always had lower back issues, and after labor, my back was in so much pain. This is actually amazing for that. Some helpful information. I am 5'3", 145 pounds, and the seat is this wide. And this is what it looks like with my giant breastfeeding pillow. I can sit normally or I can sit cross-legged. It's very plush and cozy. Some things to know about it. It's a very tall chair. I'm told that tall people love this chair. And it's just a big chair. It's also very wide. But my husband and I don't get to benefit that much from it because we're all under 5'10". Now here's the thing, you can probably buy another pillow for your back, so you don't need the lumbar settings, but it's nice to be able to adjust it on the seat. And you also don't need the charging port. That's just a nice bonus. Do with that information what you will. The Owlet, this is the Owlet. Okay, so this is a smart sock that you put on your baby in order to measure their quality of sleep and most importantly, their pulse rate and oxygen levels. If you are easily overwhelmed with information streaming in, maybe you're anxious or maybe you're not a data person, you will hate this sock. If it's on incorrectly, it has this really annoying alert that makes you jump. My husband actually found it really hard to align the foot and the sock. And this is gonna be on this foot. And then we have to align it with the pinky toe. I know, you don't like it.
I think it's this one. It's okay. How are you?
That's it. But it wasn't a problem for me. Another thing is I am a data person and I'm always on the side of better safe than sorry. So I didn't get overwhelmed by all of the information streaming in. But my husband and I are lazy people, and we definitely got tired of constantly taking the sock on and off to change him, to bathe him, and then, you know, on or off, depending if he was sleeping or not sleeping. So I think that's it for the major cons. Now, I feel like this next part is especially true for winter babies. Typically, winter overlaps with peak cold, flu, and RSV season, and a new baby is especially vulnerable during this time. August had a cold, and he was feverish, he had the sniffles. This was within month 1, and I was really worried that he would have trouble breathing because he was really gunked up and his nostrils were so small. I didn't really have anything that could remove snot well.
Honey, please let mommy do this. Okay.
So we were really happy that we had the Owlet. This was our app. Normally he's at 100% oxygen, but then he dropped down to 81% because he was both congested and screaming. But then he calmed down and his oxygen improved. But regardless, we were still watching it like a hawk to make sure that nothing scary happened. So that was great for that. It was also really nice because when our baby refused to sleep in his crib, we put him in our bed. And we were worried about safe sleep and whether or not he was breathing throughout the night. So we had this sock on to make sure he was okay. And I have to say, if you plan to co-sleep, it made bed sharing feel a lot safer because we knew that if anything happened, the sock would alert us. Hi, so this is literally my janky editor's note, but we stopped using the Owlet sock at around month 3, month 4, because at that point he was getting so robust that we didn't think he would be having breathing issues. So it's a quite expensive item to only be using for your baby's first 4 months of life. Now that said, it did give me and Michael a complete peace of mind, and I know that that's worth its weight in gold. So it just depends on whether or not, you know, you are someone who would feel anxious because you're having too much information, or you would feel better by having all of the information. And especially if you're having a winter baby, I would say that the benefits go up. So I love meeting new people, and I love meeting new people. And hi, my name is Kami and I'm a first-time mom. If you like what you see so far, subscribe for more. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on everything I've learned so far in my first year of parenthood. It's been really cool to see that we're all just going on the same journey. I love meeting new people and connecting, so yeah, you'll see more of me. No, I can't. I literally cannot.